The opinions expressed on this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial advisor, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, and SIPC. This is the Margie Shard Show on Super Talk 1570.
You're listening to the Margie Shard Show on Super Talk 1570. And in the studio, I have Jen Verschar, my Director of Operations over at Shard Financial today. And we're going to have a couple great guests today. Big Mike at Powerhouse Gym in Fenton is going to talk to us, as well as Bridget Todd with Clutter Toss. So today we're actually talking about the top 3 resolutions that people make for New Year's. And Jen and I have made a few resolutions of our own, and we thought that what we would do this year is every 90 days check in with our listeners and have you guys hold us accountable, and we'll tell you where we're at on those resolutions. And hopefully you can send us an email through our website at shardfinancial.com and tell us what your New Year's resolutions are going to be so we can see where you're at in the 90-day check-in as well. So, Jen, let's start.
Okay.
What are your New Year's resolutions?
My first one is pay off debt. I've got a couple credit cards I want to get rid of.
Visa, MasterCard.
Yes. My second one is to get fit, exercise more.
Whoa! Are you going to sweat this year?
I might.
Oh my goodness, Jen has never. Does that mean I should have bought you the tracksuit along with the rest of the?
Let's not get carried away.
No.
Let baby steps for me.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you sweat this year. I'm going to hold you accountable to that. I've always wanted to do that.
Uh-oh.
She's always turned me down.
I'm in trouble. And then my last goal is to get organized, eliminate that clutter.
You know what? That's a really good goal, and I think we have someone on our show later today that's going to help you.
To get some good tips.
I know, man. It's amazing how much stuff just builds up and builds up and builds up, and just never seems to take care of itself.
Exactly.
So, well, my goals this year, I want to get fit and healthy and actually reach my goal weight. And one of the things I want to do is stop the yo-yo. I want to cut that yo-yo string in half and be done with it for once and for all. And so, because I feel sometimes like I've got that Oprah issue, she loses weight, gains weight, loses weight, gains weight. And so I'm trying to not be Oprah forever again, unless it's a skinny Oprah.
I was going to say being Oprah wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, no, it'd actually be pretty fantastic. But yeah, so that's one of mine. The second one is I want to increase my business by 50%. And if we do that, Jen, then everybody, the whole team at Shard Financial is going to get big bonuses.
Woohoo.
So what are you going to do with your bonus money?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Take me on a trip?
Yeah, let's go on a trip.
Okay. Where should we go?
I'm not sure. Someplace warm.
Okay. Like maybe we could go to, I don't know, somewhere like Caribbean, somewhere like that.
Oh, that sounds
all-inclusive,
awesome.
So we can eat and drink and put on what we took off.
We're going to have to, we'll have to talk about that.
Okay. And then the other thing is I want to actually update my financial plan. So it's been a few years, and I always tell our clients that every year and a half, you should be updating your financial plan. And I have not updated mine in probably 3 years.
I can help you with that.
I'm going to hold you accountable to that, or you're going to hold me accountable.
I will, yes.
Either way. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So why is it that I don't procrastinate on our clients' plans. I love doing their plans, but why is it that when it comes to mine, I just can't seem to get it done?
I think because you're trying to help everybody else. You're not thinking of yourself.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. It seems very, and I understand clients when it seems overwhelming, but that's going to be my goal by the time our 90 days is up, our first check-in. I'm going to make it the goal to make sure that financial plan is done, because I feel, as you know, my whole book is written about it. It's all about financial planning and why people need a financial plan. And so, it's not fair if I don't have to go through what our clients go through and update mine as well.
We're just going to have to carve out time on the schedule and work on your plan.
So one of the things I did recently, Jen, and you were laughing at me because you went to the printer and I was printing off all these things from Pinterest, and but I told you I was going to do a vision board, and I was surprised that you didn't know what that was.
No, I'd never heard of it before.
Have you ever watched the movie The Secret?
No.
Okay. Really? You never saw that?
No.
It's amazing to me because it seems like everybody saw The Secret.
Yeah, you know me in movies.
Okay. Well, it seems like a few years ago when the movie The Secret came out that everybody was big into vision boards. And so, a vision board is where you take a piece of poster board or foam board or whatever, and you cut out pictures from magazines, or as I did, I just printed them off Pinterest because I would love to live in a Pinterest house. And I really want the bodies that are on Pinterest too, that buff body. And actually, so I printed these things off, and I cut a really hot buff body out, put my face on it, and anyway, so I hung the vision board in between my mirrors in my bathroom, so that every day as I'm drying my hair and curling it, doing whatever, throwing on my makeup, I can look at that and see my goals and see what it is that I want for my future. And so one of the things that I would encourage our listeners to do is to actually do that and to hang that somewhere where you're going to look at it every day. I've written down goals a lot, and I'm a huge goal person. So, I'm always writing down goals and seeing where I'm at. And but I think visualizing it is just such a powerful thing.
You'll have to take a picture and show.
I'll have to post
it on our website.
Okay, so that's what I'll do. Well, I've done the vision board, so I'll have to go home, take a picture, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to post the vision board, and then people can comment, and you can say, "Wow, Margie looks awesome," because my face is on that buff body.
Put your head on that body.
So Jen, so maybe by 90 days, Jen, you should have to do a vision board too, and then we'll post your vision board.
Okay, sounds good.
But which one of the goals is the one that you want to get done before the 90-day check-in? Is there anything that you think you can get done?
Well, paying off some of the credit cards is going to take me a little bit longer than 90 days. Getting fit will probably take a little bit of time.
But you could get started.
But I could get started, and then I can get organized.
Okay, so what room are you going to organize?
I want to organize my storage room in my basement.
Oh, the dreaded storage room.
Yes, so I'm hoping that Bridget can give me some ideas on where to start, because I just walk in that room and immediately shut the door, go back out.
It's just overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
Okay. Well, one of the things about the top 3 New Year's resolutions is all 3 of them really cost people a lot of money. If you're not fit and healthy, we spend over $100 billion with a B dollars per year in this country on weight loss and obesity related issues. And the second one, not getting organized, we know from a financial aspect that, a lot of clients aren't organized in their financial life, which obviously has a huge impact on their overall financial well-being. And then also we'll talk some more with Bridget about how that affects financial reasons. But, the spend less, save more is obviously a huge financial thing, whether you're spending so much that you can't save, or you're spending so much that you're also going into debt as well as not saving. So those are things that I think are really important to make sure, these top 3 financial resolutions are the top 3 New Year's resolutions are really an important thing that you kind of get under control, because it really does affect your money.
Mm-hmm. It does.
So one of the things that, we want to do is, with this show, is make sure that we're finding out from our listeners what your resolutions are, what you're going to do by the 90-day check-in. And if you create a vision board, or maybe you've already created a vision board, but you need to go back and do another one, we would love to have you send us an email with a picture of your vision board, or post it on our Facebook page, which is our Shard Financial page. Or you can go to shardfinancial.com. There's an Ask Margie a Question link. You can send it that way. But we want to make sure that, we're helping you hold your goals accountable as well. And so we're going to have a prize, and we're not going to announce it quite yet, but we're actually going to have a prize at our 90-day check-in. So for people who have sent in their vision boards or listed their goals, and then on 90 days, people that have that have reached one of their goals, one of their New Year's resolutions, or maybe they're just really far to, and maybe you're 50% of the way there, but you've made a really good positive move towards your financial goal or towards your resolution. And again, it doesn't have to be financial. It could be anything, but we want to know what that is. And we're going to be giving away a really great prize for that. So we'll talk more about that later, but in a different show. But so get on the Shard Financial website, click on Ask Margie a Question link, and let's get these New Year's resolutions done. Because Jen, do you know the percent of people that actually complete their New Year's resolutions?
50%?
No, it's way less than that.
40%.
Nope.
Okay, 30%?
8%.
8%?
8% of people actually accomplish their New Year's resolutions. So what if we had the listeners of this show, and instead of 8%, we had more of like a 100% or 99? You know, I'm a top achiever, so let's overachieve. Let's all help each other. You know, keep our New Year's resolutions and have check-in points, just as you would with your business or your goals. Because New Year's resolutions really are just goals, aren't they?
They are.
And you know what? One of the things that amazes me, I've always been taught goals, but there's a lot of people that really don't know what a goal is or how to set it. And, so if you are a person that maybe you've never had a goal or actually sat down and figured out how to set a goal, and it just is overwhelming, but you really want to do this, contact us on our Shard Financial page, and we would love to help you set some goals and get you involved in this. So a couple other goals, the top 10, besides the top 3. Number 4 is enjoy life to the fullest. 5 is staying fit and healthy, which, I think that's part of that Oprah yo-yo that I'm on, is once I lose it, I need to learn to stay fit and healthy. That's a big thing. Mm-hmm. Learn something exciting. Is there anything you want to learn, Jen?
I've always wanted to learn Chinese.
Okay.
But I don't.
Well, we're going to hold you accountable to that.
Uh-oh.
So stay tuned with us. We're going to talk next with Big Mike of Powerhouse Gym in Fenton to discuss the number 1 New Year's resolution after we come back from this commercial break. And you're listening to Jen Verschure and Margie Shard on the Margie Shard Show on Super Talk 1570. We'll be right back.
The opinions expressed on this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial advisor, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, and SIPC.
You're listening to Margie Shard, Jen Verschure, and Big Mike from Powerhouse Gym in Fenton on the Margie Shard Show on Super Talk 1570. So, Big Mike, it's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me here.
So, Big Mike, you're actually my trainer, which some days I'm sure you're proud of, and other days maybe not so much.
Like that.
But, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show is, we do a lot of financial planning, and we see a lot of pre-retirees and also post-retirees who are spending a lot of money every month on obesity-related medicine and operations and things like that. And Jen, you do a lot of our financial plans. What do you think the average cost for our clients per year is on their obesity issues?
If I had to come up with a number, I'd say probably between $2,000 and $3,000 a year.
So that's a pretty substantial thing. I mean, $2,000 to $3,000. Some people are paying more than that. Some people are paying less. And so the number 1 New Year's resolution is to lose weight, which surprisingly so is your favorite client, myself. Mm-hmm. My goal, my number 1 resolution.
Okay.
So, I'm a big fan of The Biggest Loser and Extreme Makeover, weight loss. And I was wondering, how do I get those type of results? I mean, do I really have to work out 6 hours a day, or do I just have to starve myself? Do I have to take diet pills? Like, how do people really lose that much weight? Because how do you lose 20? I mean, people have gone on there and lost 40 pounds in a week before. I mean, it's pretty crazy. So how do you get those type of results?
Well, it's pretty much it's diet. So like the saying goes, you are what you eat. So basically the workout part of it is just the tone, and the cardio is for your heart and whatnot like that. But what you eat is basically the most important part of it.
So I can't eat a whole pizza and then come over and have you work me out and lose all those calories?
No, you wouldn't be a contender for The Biggest Loser. Eat a big pizza.
Oh, shoot. That was our lunch next.
Oh, man. Okay. So how many clients, do you have a lot of clients that come to you in January and say, hey, I'm going to lose weight, and maybe hire you and never show up?
Well, and when I first started training, I used to do that at the beginning of the year, take in a lot of new clients, but once now, I don't take too many new clients. I always focus on the clients I have and help them fulfill their goals, because they be more long-term, other than people who, I'm going to do it, then stop. I'm going to do it, then stop. I'd rather deal with the people I have already
So
and keep
since
them going.
Since
like
I've been
yourself.
off a few weeks, are you going to fire me as a client?
No, I can't fire you because we're together forever, so that
That's
won't
right.
work.
Oh, man. So that means I'm going back in the gym, people. Okay, so Jen actually had a goal, her New Year's resolution, which shocked me. What was it, Jen?
My number 2 resolution is to get fit.
And Jen's not sweated before.
Oh, so
I
you
am
coming
a-
to the gym with us? You joining?
I
the
don't know.
party?
You scare me.
Oh man,
I've heard some stories from Margie.
they all can't be true.
No, exercise and me, we just don't seem to have a good relationship. I've never been a fan of working out, which I'm sure most people aren't, but I
think
avoid.
you will learn to love it.
Learn to love it. Is
Just
that possible?
Give it a chance. Yeah, it's possible.
It is.
Yes, it
So
is.
so
Maybe
we're
I need to learn how to love it.
gonna check back in 90 days on all of our goals. And so maybe Jen, you should join us. See, Jen, you didn't know when you said you'd come on the air with me.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to be held accountable.
Do you think Jen can join us in some of these workouts, Big Mike?
She sure can.
Do you have beginner level?
Yeah.
Okay, they're not all
He's got the granny workout.
the beast level that Margie talks about,
Silver
or
sneakers.
so silver sneakers. Oh, great!
So Big Mike, beast mode. You know, I talk about beast mode, and in summer I was in beast mode, and then I fell off the wagon because I talked earlier about this Oprah mentality I have, where I lose weight and gain it and lose weight, and this constant. And I want to cut the yo-yo and be done with the Oprah mentality and just be on constant beast mode. So can you explain to our listeners what beast mode is, Big Mike style?
Well, basically, it's you're in a zone. It's like you're on a mission to get to where you're trying to be. You're trying to get your results quick, but at the same time, you're just trying to make it happen. So you was on beast mode once, so it's like you'll get right back there again. It shouldn't be a problem.
So how do I stay on it? Like, I know you've trained a lot of people who have done these fitness shows, and their bodies are just like ripped. And I don't ever want to be on stage in a bikini. That's just not going to happen. Thankfully, to everyone's eyesight. But so
Never say never. But keep
no,
going. I'm
no,
listening.
you keep telling me this. It's not going to happen, Mike. Sorry. But how do you, I look at some of those people that train for these shows, and they're constantly, whether they're in shows or not, they seem to always be on beast mode, and they seem to always be focused, and they're there every day. They show up every day, and they've got that champion mentality. And how do you stay, how can someone like me stay in champion mode?
Well, you have to come at it at a different angle. See, they're doing it, and they keep doing it to better themselves, to get better places when they do the shows and whatnot until they finally win. And then with you, you just have to do it as different aspects. Say, this year I want to be this weight or I want to be this size. And then don't be content with that. Try to better yourself for yourself.
So until I get to what size? What size?
What
0,
size
0?
make you happy?
I don't think I could be 0, 0. Okay, so all right, so you're gonna work on getting on my head this year, right? And keeping me.
Yeah, we just gonna stay together forever. Be my name would be Tony.
You guys are like a marriage here.
Yeah, that's what I say. My
Tony
name
is
will
my
be
husband.
Tony.
Okay. So you're gonna be my workout
Spouse in the house.
Spouse.
That'll be me. Spouse in the powerhouse.
spouse in the
Spouse in
powerhouse.
I like it.
Nice. And what are we gonna do about Jen?
We're gonna just adopt her.
Adopt
Make
me,
her part of the
okay.
family.
All right.
Start off with silver sneakers.
Silver
This ought to be
sneakers.
interesting.
Those are like the 80-year-olds, Jen.
I
I think Jen can step it up a notch.
could probably, yeah, I'll join this.
But speaking of the silver sneakers, I mean, they're doing what they should do, and I bet anything that when you look at their financial plans, that their medicine bills are a lot lower than some of our, some of the things that we see, and it's the high blood pressure, the cholesterol, the diabetes medicine. It's amazing what people have to pay for diabetes medicine just to make sure they can live every day. So, I give it up to the silver sneakers because
me too.
I see them working out. They're working out hard back there.
I seen a lady
Much harder than I
101
do.
back there before.
Yeah. What did she say?
She was 101.
Wow.
She was working out.
Yeah. See, that's That's how I want to be at 101. I don't want to be where I can't get up out of my chair. And
Right.
so, Big Mike, you've got a lot in your hands this year because you've got me. You've got to keep me in beast mode, and you've got Jen, who has to learn how to start sweating. We're gonna Kodak moment it when she finally starts to sweat.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
So tell me, Mike, 3 things that people can do every day that you have control over, that you can do, or you can at least try to do every day to get fit and healthy, and then also maintain being fit and healthy. Because I think maintenance is a big thing too.
Okay, we're going to start off with rest. I heard that from someone. Also,
And how much rest?
it depends on how your day goes. I don't know your work schedule, so I can't give you a certain amount. Just try to get plenty of rest.
So we talking about like 8 hours of sleep, 10 hours of sleep. Can I sleep for 14 hours?
No,
I
not
don't
14
think I have
hours.
enough time.
So we will say rest, eating,
Okay, so
watch what you eat.
So eating, let's talk about that real quick because there's obviously 50 million diets out there. Cabbage, grapefruit, no carb, no fat. I mean, what is the best? I'm so confused. My head is, I've done them all. What is the best thing to do?
Just start off by trying to eat right, a well-balanced diet. It don't have to be the extreme all the time. Just eat right.
So
live
are we
your everyday
calorie
life.
counting?
Are we calorie counting?
Yes. Are we calorie? Is that just to count your calories? Is that, because...
Is that something we all should be doing?
Yeah, you should do that just to stay on track with what you're eating.
Okay.
That'll keep you focused on what you're eating.
So I use my Fitness Pal. Is that a good app for people? It's a free app they download?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Anything will help.
Okay. And what's the third thing that people can be doing?
Work out with Big Mike.
Work out with Big Mike.
There you go.
That's right. It's kind of extreme, though. You'd be on the
It's
extreme
supposed
team.
to be.
So, Mike, what's your favorite exercise to have people do? The one that puts people in the most pain, because I know you like to make me really hurt
Now, how
bad.
am I going to answer that? And we trying to get Silver Sneakers here to join.
I know. That's what I'm sitting here like.
I know.
I don't have no favorite exercise to put you in pain.
Okay, because I feel in pain a lot of times.
Well, that's just you.
Is that the whole no pain, no gain?
Pretty much. Let's say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what about New Year's resolutions? Do you have any clients that have actually kept their New Year's resolution to lose weight before, and then, or maybe just
everybody
maintain?
that's on the stream team.
Except me.
Well, we just starting.
Well, this is my.
We're just starting.
That's true. I wasn't with you all last year.
Right.
Only
So
like
we
half
just
of it.
So we make sure that you stick to it. That's the
Okay.
whole plan.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are going to, so go back to my first question of, working out for a week and losing. Is there any way I can lose 30 pounds in a week?
No.
Is there any
But
other?
they do it on The Biggest Loser. How do they do that?
It's on TV.
It's on TV.
They're probably on weight loss drugs
I
and-
couldn't get that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Big Mike, I've really enjoyed talking to you, and
Thank you for having me.
I'm not really looking forward to my workout, but I am looking forward to my workout. I'm really looking forward to seeing Jen sweat.
This is
5 in the morning.
Yeah.
5 in the. Ooh.
So stay tuned with us. Next, we're going to be talking with Bridget Todd of Clutter Toss for the second biggest New Year's resolutions that people make. And you're listening to Margie Shard, Jen Verschure on the Margie Shard Show on Super Talk 1570.
The opinions expressed on this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial advisor, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, and SIPC.
You're listening to Margie Shard, Jen Verschure, and Bridget Todd on the Margie Shard Show on Super Talk 1570. Bridget, you own Clutter Toss. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Excited to talk to you today because the number 2 resolution that people make is getting organized. And, at Shard Financial, we help a lot of people get organized with their finances. And I know you do too with a lot of things. So we wanted to have you in and talk about how do you get organized. And I know in my house, there's areas that need to be organized that, it seems like the toy room can just never be organized. The mail, oh my gosh.
That's my house. it just piles up on one of my kitchen counters, and before you know it, it's like a 12 inches deep.
Well, and I think because I know my bills and I know I pay everything online, I don't feel like I need to open the mail. And then a few months later, I start to open the mail, and so it's just a bad situation. So, Bridget, where do people start, and do you have to be a hoarder to have someone like you come in?
Well, no, you don't have to be a hoarder. You just want to improve the situation that you have in your life, and you want to be less stressful for yourself and to organize things. Where do people start? I always suggest to my clients is you start with the worst area, the area that bothers you the most. It could be the master room closet, because you can't find clothes to get dressed in the morning, or it could be the kitchen because you can't organize and cook and get meals prepared. It's whatever room bothers you the most is where we start at.
What if you're just so overwhelmed that you aren't sure? Because, those all sound like good things to me. I've got some cabinets in my kitchen that aren't necessarily totally organized, and then I've got the toy room and then the master closet that I guess could be better. What if you're just totally overwhelmed with everything? And I don't have a hoarder's house, but I'm kind of sounding like I do. It's overwhelming to me when I come home from the end of the day and I've ran around with my head cut off like a chicken all day, and I'm tired, and it's like, oh. And if it was organized, I know I'd feel better.
Yeah, most people feel overwhelmed because it's just, you look at the big picture, and the big picture is like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this all done? What you need to do is focus on one small area. If you say, okay, my goal for the week is maybe the linen closet, and then one day I will do the top shelf, the next day I will do the next shelf, and the next shelf. By the end of the week, you will have the linen closet done. And then you can look at it and say, oh, I've got that organized. Okay, that one part is under control. And then you move on to some other part that's really bothering you. Always take small chunks, little pieces, because if you take too much on, you go, oh my gosh, I've taken, and you're even more overwhelmed at that point.
I know a lot of our clients, we help them get financially organized, and so getting them organized for us is pretty easy, but I think staying organized is, once you get there, maybe it works for a while and then you get unorganized again. And how do you suggest that people stay financially organized? They've got their bills coming in, they've got their budget to keep. What do you suggest on that?
Well, it's coming up with a system that works for you. For some people, it's like as soon as you walk in with the mail that you were talking about, is to take the bills and put them in a separate bill pile. And this is where all the bills are. And you set up a schedule like the 15th and 30th, I pay my bills. And you go through all that paperwork. And you can use products like Quicken or Mint, to organize all your data information. And like on Quicken, you can scan that bill right into Quicken, and you don't even have to keep it. You scan it, you shred it, because the IRS allows electronic documents now. So there's no reason to keep all that paperwork laying around. So I suggest getting rid of much paperwork as you can. That way it doesn't seem like it clutters up all file cabinets and drawers that you have.
I know we have a lot of business owners we work with, and one of the things that we use, and or I should say Jen mostly uses, because she does our inputting, but we use QuickBooks. And I think the nicest thing about QuickBooks was when they allowed you to start linking your bank account so that you could just start downloading everything directly into
it. It helps eliminate, we can just take all the receipts when they come in, or bills, and we put them in a file right away. And then I just download the transactions. It makes it a lot easier to balance the checkbook and keep track of, what we're spending.
And I know a few years ago when we moved to taking our receipts, and we have a January through December, every month has a folder. And so we have all of our receipts for every month in that folder. And I know that helped a lot, because before I used to just throw, a whole year's worth of receipts in a big bin, and that's what it was. So
the shoebox method.
Yeah, so definitely. I know from experience that getting organized really, really makes me feel better, and I don't feel as stressed out. So what are the biggest benefits that you see, Bridget, of getting organized?
Oh, there's a lot of benefits. There's just cost savings. There's the cost of, if you can't find the item, you end up going out and buying the item again.
So guilty of that.
My husband's guilty of that one.
Yeah, I've had a lot of clients. It's like, well, I just went and bought some more. And, I organized this one client's craft room, and we organized crafts, and we put them in sections. Ended up being like a whole drawer full of paints, some of them in the same color she bought because she needed the color again, couldn't find it, and so bought again. So she had like 50 of those 2-ounce tubes or whatever you
So
want to
she's
call it.
spending more money.
And she's got all this paint now sitting there, all of them open, so they're all drying out if she doesn't use them quickly enough. So you spend a lot of money and stuff like that. You also, money for lost receipts, on items you want to return because you misplaced the receipt
Guilty.
for something.
Are you guilty of that,
Yep.
Jen?
Mm-hmm. Late fines for library books and different
guilty
things,
on that
movie
one.
rentals. That all costs money. If you're late for an important doctor's appointment or whatever because you can't find the car keys because you're running out of the house and everything's not organized and ready to go. And then people who have too much stuff. That's my biggest thing is I emphasize decluttering. You're paying for a rental unit because you've got all this stuff in this rental storage unit and you never look at it and it's a waste of time and money. How much you
Do a
paying?
lot of your clients have rental units?
Some of them do, yeah. And so the focus is let's, clean up and maybe go through that rental unit because that's a monthly bill you can get rid of.
Well, they're probably spending what, $1,000 a year, $1,500.
Oh
at
yeah,
least?
there's like $200, $300 a month
Oh
rental
wow.
units.
Okay, so
Yeah, it adds up.
$600 a year. Wow, that's a vacation right there.
Heck
That
yes.
is.
Wow, that's like
Just
a
to
good
store your
vacation.
junk that you're not looking at.
Wow. Okay. So we know the benefits. What is the biggest disaster zone of a person's home that you normally see?
Seems like the most people, they use their basements and garages as a dumping area. They'll say, "Oh, I don't know what to do with this item right now, so I will store it down there, or I will
guilty
store it
of
in the
that.
garage."
Oh, I'm very guilty
And
of
then
that.
it just accumulates. And then you sit there and you go down there and go, it just stresses you out to go down in the basement or the garage because it's like overwhelming. You got so much stuff and it's like, I'll deal with it later. And you keep postponing. You procrastinate on the decisions that you need to make.
See, my fear though is, I think I should save something because I might need it later.
That's a
and then I
big
end up
issue.
with this garage full of stuff where, we might need this tool. We might need this box. We might need whatever it is.
Yeah, but for example, tools, several years ago, I thought I was moving, so we cleared out our garage. I gave away the chainsaw and stuff like that. I thought, oh, I'll need it, But over the years, every time I need a chainsaw, I will just borrow one of my neighbors for the, one day I need it and then return it to them.
That's a good idea.
I mean, why carry so much equipment and tools if you use it once or twice a year?
You don't use your chainsaw every day.
No, I don't use my chainsaw every day. And for example, my neighbor just called me this week. She's going to come over and borrow my KitchenAid mixer because she wants to make this soap or something. And face cream. And I said, no problem. She can borrow it. She'll return it in a couple days. And why should she have a KitchenAid mixer when she can borrow mine when she does this like once or twice a year?
So make sure you have good friends. That have
Good friends,
items.
good neighbors. Yep.
That's a good idea.
So let's touch on this hoarder thing real quick because it just fascinates me. I've seen the shows and I had to stop watching because they were kind of making me feel sick. But how is it that people get that out of control?
Hoarders is a different issue than your average person. A lot of hoarders have actually emotional or psychological issues, and they have to work with a psychiatrist when they're trying to declutter and stuff like that. Because I hate those shows because they just go through, tear everything up, and the person is under so stress because to them you're tearing away something that's very important to them, and they need to work through those issues first to get let go. Because most of those, I'm sure, 6 months from now will look the same as it did when they started the show.
That's amazing. I mean, financially, they just, and obviously on the show, a lot of them have talked about financially the drain that they've had. But how do they even get, some of these people have already drained themselves financially. How do they just keep getting more and more and more stuff?
They accumulate it maybe through garage sales or friends or whatever means they have to accumulate. But to them, it's a security issue. It's like, I have the stuff, so obviously I'm not poor because I have stuff. And it's a totally different type of issue than a normal person trying to get organized.
So besides the basement or the garage, what other area do you find is most beneficial for people to get organized in?
Their offices, because they got the paperwork and they need for taxes and different things and, stress of getting that all organized. Another thing that really helps a lot of people is getting their pantry organized because they come home and they look at the pantry and say, I don't know what I want for dinner. Let's go out to eat.
Guilty.
I actually did that. I did that about a week ago because I opened the pantry and I just thought, oh my gosh, there's just all this stuff, and I felt like it was like, I couldn't find anything, but I felt like it was almost like flying out at me.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me 3 hours. And I don't have a super huge pantry, but it took me 3 hours to organize that thing. I mean, but I felt so good once it was done. I really felt good. But I had 4 garbage bags of expired canned food and things like that. And it just made me kind of sad that I'm, just letting stuff go to waste. And so.
Yeah, wasted food, expired food. Just on the expired dates, I always tell customers, that's what they suggest the sell by date. Doesn't mean the food's bad or anything. Just check your cans and stuff before you do that, because you can still use something that's been expired. But
so how long? How long do you have?
It depends. I mean, if the can is bubbled up, obviously toss it. It depends on it. Green beans, I would think, you probably have 3-6 months after the expiration date and stuff.
Oh, this is a couple years.
Oh, forget that then. Okay, that's okay. A little much.
Well, Bridget, thanks for coming on our show. You're listening to Jen Verschure and Margie Shard on the Margie Shard Show on Super Talk 1570. Stay tuned, and we'll be talking about the last resolution, the Mercury resolution. That's the most popular. We'll be right back on Super Talk 1570.
The opinions expressed on this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial advisor, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, and SIPC.
You're listening to Jen Verschure and Margie Shard on the Margie Shard Radio Show on Super Talk 1570. So let's talk, Jen, about the third biggest New Year's resolution. Do you know what it is?
Save more, spend less. That's on my list.
It's always on my list. Always. So Huffington Post just came out with the most popular financial resolutions for 2015. And not surprisingly, 37% said to save money, 24% said to pay down debt, 16% to improve spending habits, 11% said to invest, and 11.3% said to actually get a raise. So, money obviously is always a big thing, and we deal with that at Shard Financial. So one of the things that I think we should talk about that really revolves around spending more and saving less is budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
And, typically when we start talking to our clients about budgeting, they kind of get glassy-eyed and, they think that budgeting has to be, okay, I can only spend $2 on milk this week. And it's really not that, is it, Jen?
No, it's just more about being accountable for knowing where your money's going. What do you spend on groceries? What do you spend on your utility bills? Are there things that you could maybe do with, cut out, things that you don't use?
It's interesting to me when we talk with clients and, they think sometimes that their budget is what they spend on utilities and housing and, those things that you get bills for. But they forget about a lot of items, don't they?
They do. What they spend at Starbucks.
I like my Starbucks, though.
I do, too. I do, too. They don't realize, what they're spending, though, on coffee. And when they actually sit there and add it up, they're shocked that they spend that much.
Well, and I think, vacations are one thing that, when we talk about retirement planning and, I always say to clients, so you're spending $5,000 a year now on vacations. What do you want to spend in retirement? And it's not uncommon for our clients to have $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year vacation budgets, is it?
No, it's not.
Because I think once you're retired, you just naturally want to go more places. And now not everybody wants that, but your hunting expense might go up, or your scrapbooking expense, or all these hobbies that you have that tend to cost money, but you just really don't think a lot about it, do you? Because you don't get a bill for it.
True. You're just right. It's just money, a little bit here, a little bit there, but over the course of a year, it could all add up.
So one of the things that I like to tell clients is, it's really not about, oh my gosh, milk is over $2 this week, and I only have $2 budgeted for that item. It's more about holding yourself accountable on a weekly basis. And one of the ways that, if you're not sure how, what you're spending or what you're spending your money, where you're spending it, one of the things I tell clients is for a month, take cash out of your account, put it in an envelope, and whether you buy a pack of gum or whether you buy gas, whatever it is that you buy, put the receipt in there. And every week, you'll get so much every week. And if Sunday comes and you don't have any money left, then you can't buy it until Monday when your money gets replenished. And I think that's a really good way because you have those receipts and you can see. And I know a lot of clients that had debt got out of debt and no longer have debt, which is great. But it's because they learned where they were spending their money. And so, Jen, what do you guys do in your house to budget?
We kind of do that, only, maybe not with an envelope full of cash, but, every payday, there's money that automatically gets deposited into our savings, automatically gets deposited into a checking account that we've labeled, household bills. So right off the top, whatever our bills are, that money is set aside for. And then, the rest is our spending money. And when that money's gone, it's gone. There's,
no more fun for the week.
No more fun for the week. Exactly.
And I do something similar where, I get paid, I pay myself once a month. And I know a lot of business owners or maybe people that work on all commission may only get paid once a month. And so for me, since I graduated college, I've been on a system where I've just only gotten paid once a month. And so my bills get paid right away. And then whatever's left, my bills get paid, my retirement plan gets added to, my savings gets added to, and then I put myself on a weekly budget. And so, for myself, it's $500 a week, and that pays for groceries and gas and going out to eat and whatever we want to do. And so I don't feel guilty if I go buy clothes with it or, whatever I want to do with it. But I know if Sunday comes or Friday and we don't have money left, then I have to wait till Monday to get that replenished. And I think that's a good way for a lot of people. It's a little more realistic than, hey, milk's not $2, so I can't buy it. So with budgeting, it really is the center around spending less and saving more. And it's, I just think a lot of people just get really scared of that word budget.
I think they do. It just, I think it's like you said, they think that, okay, I said I could spend this much on milk and
they can't.
And they can't.
And that's what I think our listeners need to know is that, having a budget, creating that budget, it's scary for a lot of people. It's overwhelming for a lot of people. But I think that creating that budget is a way to, one, open your eyes to what's really going on in your life financially. But two, it's a way to hold yourselves accountable, and it's a way for you and your partner or your spouse to also get on the same page. And, the one thing that I tell our clients is you don't have to be, it's not that the budget can't be flexible. It's not that the budget is set in stone. But if one of you are going to go change the budget, you both have to be in agreement. So if you say, I'm going to go spend $1,000 more on a vacation than we had planned, then maybe you have to reduce $1,000 out of the gifts you're giving for the year or off your spa expenses or something, some other discretionary item. Because when you look at a budget, it's really, you've got your discretionary items, which are your haircuts.
Your haircuts, your going out to eat, going to the movies, going to sporting events.
Vacations. Clothing. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of clients that say, well, clothing's not discretionary. Well, it is because you have a choice as far as what you buy and whether you buy it while it's on sale or not and how much you spend, for that. And I think, it's interesting to me, but most people I typically don't have an idea what they spend on clothes.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
We're going to get better at this, Jen. And I think that's normal. I think the thing that, listeners need to know is it doesn't matter if you're in the financial industry or you're not, everybody has different areas of their financial life that they can improve upon and do better at. And so if you can just take an area, your budget, creating that budget and actually getting aware of what it is you really are doing and what's going on is a huge step to what your overall plan is and what your long-term goals are. Because if your spending's out of control and you're going into debt, or maybe you're not going to debt, but you're spending so much that you're not saving anything, it just has drastic long-term consequences, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And so many of our clients, we're working on their budget, and to us, it looks like they have a huge surplus of money at the end of the year, and they don't have it in their savings. So obviously they're not saving that. So where is that money going? And they can't tell you. They don't know. And for them to sit down and, keep track of what they're spending that money on, they've learned that, hey, maybe I really don't need that, or, I'd rather add to my, children's college or my retirement or emergency savings. It's just, it's helpful to do a budget.
Well, and I think when you talk about, the fact that, a lot of people don't know where it's going. I mean, we've had surpluses. We've ran, budgets for people and entered what they told us they were spending on different categories. And we have to go back to them because they may have a $30,000, a $40,000, a $50,000 surplus. One time we had an $80,000 surplus, and, the clients really didn't know where that money was going. So I think, making sure that you do know where your money's going, it's always your choice, but getting consciously aware of it, it's really quite amazing when you look at the money that people just don't know. They really have no clue where it's going.
Right, and especially if it's their goal to save more. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really important that they know where this money is going.
Well, and before they retire, it's so important to have a grasp on your finances and really understand, how much your retirement budget should be. Because, if you're not used to living on a budget and then all of a sudden you retire, it's a big rude awakening. And it's a lot easier while you're working to learn how to, get in a budget and stay on a budget and be disciplined versus not. And so, the other thing too is the stress it causes and the anxiety. When you really do know what's going on, a lot of that stress and anxiety goes away.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So our challenge to everyone this year is to make sure that, you do know where your money's going, and to create a budget, or go back and look at your budget and see if your budget is really realistic for what your lifestyle is, and then be able to work on making those changes. We want to know what our listeners want to hear about and what questions you have. And so if you go on shardfinancial.com and click on the Ask Margie a Question button, we're going to be giving away a $50 gift card to Redwood Lodge, so you'll be entered in that. And I want to thank our sponsors of the show, Christy Candleberry with Remax Grand, Rebecca Bartley with Icon Mortgage Lending, and Jason Orton with The David Chapman Show. Tune into next week, where we'll be discussing what's happening in the real estate market. And you're listening to Jen Verschure and Margie Shard on The Margie Shard Show on Super Talk 1570. We'll see you next week.